started here. I want to thank everybody for attending. I believe this is our third brown bag lunch, and we're here to just talk about any issues that may be top of mind here in the big city of Henniker. And without further ado, we'll turn it over to Joe for a little brief intro on what's going on, and then we'll go back and forth. And if you got any specific questions of what's going on, please fire them away.
So thanks. So again, we're still marching forward. I'm hoping at the next selectors meeting to give them a reopening memo on how we're going to be reopening town hall. And you know, I think the hard one will be the transfer station, trying to figure out how we're going to reintegrate recycling and things like that. Just because it's so hands-on, until I think we have a better grasp. But you know, town hall, we are looking to hopefully get back open within the next month. Start doing open to public, things like that. Obviously, it's going to look a little bit different. We probably require masks, things like that for people, but we're hoping to really start moving forward on, and I hope to present this to the selectmen on Tuesday night. Just a reminder to everybody, dogs were due to be registered on April 30th if you haven't done so already. The month of May is a grace period though, so if you want to get your dog registered, there's no increased fees if you do it in the month of May, but starting in June, we do increase the fees. So get your dog registered. Also, party affiliation changes can happen through June 2nd. We're working with the Secretary of State's office right now to figure out how that's going to look as far as typically the supervisor of the checklist has to hold office hours on June 2nd. We're trying to figure out how that's going to work. And so the Attorney General's office is looking to give us a little bit of guidance, all the towns, on whether this can happen in person or if we should just be doing it all through the mail or online somehow. So we're looking for a little bit more guidance on that. But if people do want to change the party affiliation, the form is online. You can drop it off at the clerk's office, so that there's a way to do it without having to come in and meet with anybody. At the last meeting, we did at the last Board of Selectmen's meeting, we had a first reading for sidewalk dining. So I made a couple of changes that the board has asked for on that, and we'll be going with a public hearing and second reading for that at the next meeting on the 19th. The hope again is to try to really help our downtown businesses, give them a little extra seating if that's possible. The Liquor Commission has actually loosened their guidance as well as far as allowing alcohol on sidewalks. Used to require fencing, things like that. They've kind of loosened it, so places who do serve alcohol have more options if they do so choose and they want to be able to do that on the sidewalk. And then finally at the last meeting as well, the board, we had a second reading and public hearing on a new zoning permit, and that was pushed forward. So the town of Henniker is no longer doing building inspections. We're going to be doing zoning permits that can be found online as well. We have not put any fees that are associated with that. We had a first reading 2 meetings ago, but we did not move forward with that yet. So that's something that I'm anticipating going forward with here in the next couple of weeks.
Great update. Thank you, Joe.
Yep.
So in the last select board meeting, we talked about a little bit, you know, obviously it's some tough times out there financially for a lot of things. And I know that we rolled out a number of initiatives with the select board with the Henniker Helps. You want to just touch upon the brief points there if
Sure.
For members of the audience?
Yep, so Henniker Helps, the idea behind that is to help struggling either residents, businesses, taxpayers who have COVID-related issues, help with their tax payments. I don't know how we're going to look in December as far as cash flow goes, but at this time right now, we're able to do this. And what we're allowing residents to do is submit an application to us and do an agreement with the board, and allows them to make 5 20% payments. So July 1st, August 1st, September 1st, October 1st, and November 1st, they pay 20% of the tax bill each month until they're whole. And then by the December tax bills, they wouldn't have any balance accrued. With that, we would abate 4% of the interest. So typically on a tax bill, you pay 8% interest. We're going to abate it to 4% to give you an incentive to complete the agreement. The board decided not to go with a 0% interest because that is the benefit of paying your taxes on time. So with the agreement, we wanted to still make sure that it made it worthwhile to people. So the tax relief is one. We did the same thing with sewer payments as well. The sewer bills are actually going out either yesterday or they're going out today. So if people, again, if they're having issues and they're not able to pay their sewer bill and they want to go into an agreement with us, we're offering the exact same thing, those 5 20% payments in order to pay their sewer bill. Those are the 2 really big ones that the board took action on. There is some help for low and moderate income housing as far as tax relief goes through the state as well for the state portion. And that was talked about, and that's on the website if people want to access it. Obviously, we have the Henniker food pantry as well that people can access if they're having food insecurities and then they need some help with food in that aspect. So
Great, thank you.
Yep.
That's big help for everybody. So we run this meeting pretty informally, so if there's anybody in the audience that wishes to address on any issue, by all means. I don't know if Lee, you've got any questions, or Heidi or Joan or anything like that, just fire away. We're kind of pretty informal here. So
I'll yield to the professional person. Lee, go ahead.
No, all set.
All set? All right. I just wanted to thank Joe for all his efforts at this time and how he adapted the town hall, and to all of your employees there and the town employees, you know, for taking care of all of us. So that's, you know, I just wanted to make a blanket thank you. You know, you have taken these initiatives like pushing us to do the census, register your dog, like you just said, these brown bag meetings. I'm really impressed with our new town administrator, right, Chris? I mean, he has taken steps that instead of just resting on your laurels, just sitting in the office waiting for things to come to you, you took these initiatives. And maybe you're ticking off a few people by changing some of the regs around here, but I just admire what you've been doing in the past. How many months have you been here? 5, 6 months?
Yep.
5 months?
6 months. Yep. Just
6
came on
months.
6 months. Yep.
That's impressive. Good job.
No,
Thank
the board is very happy with the direction that the town, the direction that Joe has taken the town. He's being very proactive. He's not reactive. So we're pleased, because I can assure you that the rest of the select board has plenty on their plate.
Right. You know, little presentations like about, you know, the police, you know, working with the police department on some whatever. You know, I just sat there at some of those selectmen's meetings. I'm like, wow, you know, he's just getting into these things, and you know, it's good for the town. It shakes up the town a little bit. So thank you. And I'm bored, so I have nothing else to do and say because I'm bored stiff. So I thought I'd at least come in on this, at least say thank you.
There you go.
All right,
I'm still waiting for story time with Joe. I want to get a story read to me.
We'll get there.
well,
We'll
those
get
have
there.
been great. Those have been really great too. I really admire those too. Every person did a great job with the backgrounds, with the fire trucks and all this kind of stuff. Good job on that too. Thank you.
That's good stuff. Well,
Okay,
hopefully, as the state slowly and responsibly reopens, that you know, we can just keep taking it a little bit further. Along those lines, Joe, I know that we passed unanimously the farmers market, which is an important part of our downtown. So you want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure. So I've spoken to Monica a couple times, and the farmers market is opening up on May 21st. They'll be open from 4 to 7 right at the community park. If you go on our website, she's already issued some guidance that we've worked on and taken some information from other farmers markets and how they've opened successfully. Concord's opened up this past weekend. So we do have some guidelines for the vendors, for the staff, and for the people coming in, as far as masks, gloves, dealing with cash handling, things like that. So all that information is up on our website right now. I believe Monica's already shared it on most of the Henniker Facebook groups as well, that are out there. But just, you know, we're anxious to get that going and see how that's going to work out. I think, again, the more normal we can make things and start pushing, like Chris said, start reopening things is really what we need to start doing at this point, but doing it safely and smartly.
Right. And just so everybody knows too, the farmers market is, what are the hours again?
4 to 7 is going to be the
Thursday.
hours.
Thursday.
The 21st, yes.
So not this Thursday, but the following Thursday.
Correct.
Perfect. Go ahead, Joan.
If it's any indicator, a lot of my friends are vendors at like the Concord Farmers Market that just opened this Saturday. And one of the vendors, and it was a cold, snowy, dreary morning, but he said that market was doing well. I think people want to do something and they miss their vendors and their routines on Saturday mornings. I mean, so I think our market could do well because there aren't a lot of the markets that are starting up right now, and we should be prepared for a good turnout. So let's support Monica, and if we know of vendors, we should be telling her. If there's someone under the radar, you know, if there's something out there that you want to see at the market, you should be telling Monica.
I think it's important just to reiterate, though, that, you know, right now, I mean, we're opening, but we need to make sure that is not a social gathering. That's not the idea of it right now. The idea is to be able to get in, get the food, get the resources that they need, and then leave, which is why she's not having music. She's not doing anything like that right now. It's purely about getting the product out there to the people.
And it's purely supporting these local vendors. That's what I'm saying. Help these vendors that are struggling along on their farms or whatever. And you're right, it's limited to food and soap at this point. But food, you know, it brings in maple syrup and everything on the edge. It's not just fruits and vegetables and stuff. So, so the more vendors she can have in that market, the better it will look, and people will patronize them and then get out. So, so yeah, I'm looking forward to it opening too. We can at least wave at our friends like, hey, goodbye. Hey, yeah, goodbye. You know, thank you.
Good stuff. Well, Allison, I noticed that you just joined the meeting. Did you have any specific questions for us? We're just pretty informal here. It's a virtual cup of coffee.
No, not really. Just waiting for some hotel guidance, but I don't think that's coming from you guys, so.
No, but you know what? I wouldn't mind you talking about a little bit about what you're hearing out there regarding that.
Well, all that I hear are from different international B&B groups, and how lots of them are trying to decide if they should stop serving breakfast altogether, or, you know, how to, like, there was something that came out yesterday about if you have 10 rooms or less, but I'm not sure where this is, because I get mixed up on who's saying which rules. Like, I don't even know what state this was, or if it was New Hampshire. If you have 10 rooms or less, you can be open 100%. If you have more than 10 rooms, you can only rent half your rooms. So I'm still waiting to find out how that will be, you know, what the state's going to say about it. Personally, for us, I think we're probably going to err on the side of caution and make a lot of changes to the way I was, you know, how Kate taught me how to run the business. Like I'm probably getting rid of all the credit card stuff. Like I'm going to go to completely contactless, like, and I can do that already, but I'm going to try to do it in a cheaper way than Kate would have done it. So we're not sure yet. Getting rid of all the pillows and the printed material and knickknacks, all that crap's going to go away, which is kind of heartbreaking to a lot of people for the B&B experience, but I just don't think I can have, that's just too much cleaning. It doesn't need to happen.
Yeah, well, I noticed I was on another forum the other day, and the Marriott Corporation was removing all irons, ironing boards, coffee makers, and all these things from the rooms, just to kind of strip down. And
I don't have a lot of that stuff anyway. Like, I mean, I have irons and ironing boards, but I don't have coffee makers. Like, I'm opposed to Keurig from the beginning, so I would never buy one of those or use one of those. We're going to get rid of we have a tea bar. We have a pretty big tea area. We're going to get rid of that. Trying to figure out if I should use all the tea leaves. I have so many bags of tea, and maybe make tea bags out of what I have so it doesn't expire. So that was kind of an investment, but I can't imagine people messing with that. Like, that would just be, that's so gross to me. So, yeah, little things like that. But we also don't have any guests. We don't have anybody coming till July.
Yeah, well, you know, I personally up here at the Peak too, we've had to cancel a number of weddings.
Yeah, and I guess that's probably why I don't have anybody, is because you guys don't have anybody. So
yeah, we've refunded 6 weddings so far, which is bad, you know, because we know that it fills up the local inns and stuff like that.
It's sad. I have 2 kids getting married in the fall, and trust me, my daughter's basically postponed because she can't imagine having to choose which 100 people can come to her wedding. Plus, everyone's gonna have to wear a mask. It's just kind of gross. So she's probably just gonna get married. In fact, she may even got married today, and we'll have a party next year. But it really wrecks everything. I mean, it really, but I don't know what the answer is, because it really, like, I mean, can you imagine a wedding reception at Pat's Peak where everybody's got a mask on and you put your drink down, you put your drink down and like, oh, was that mine? Or was that yours? You know, it's just no touching, no, you know, just waiting.
We're optimistic that maybe by September that some form of some of these things can be reinstated, but we're prepared for the long haul. You know, our team is concentrating on adopting new strategies for weddings going forward, and they belong to a lot of
Right.
forums and things. And you know, they've come up with some really good ideas about how do you safely serve a wedding, and how do you do appetizers. You know, you bring the appetizers to the folks. You don't let the people come to the table anymore, and just simple things like that about how you change the dynamic of it. But you know, our team is really dedicated up here to doing a safe job, and I couldn't be prouder than what they've been trying to do. And they come excitedly into my office every day. Well, we could do this, we could do that. We could do this. So it's we're trying to do it.
I mean, I
along
think
the lines of accommodations, did the governor's task force, did they speak to this issue yet, or is it still?
Not, I don't think for B&Bs. In fact, we tried to have somebody from the NHBBA, which is our Bed and Breakfast Association, on that force, and they wouldn't let anybody on. So we're not even, I'm not even sure what the smallest venue they have on there. It's probably just a hotel. Like, I don't even know if a motel representative is on there. So I just can't remember where I read that May 22nd we were allowed to open. I think it was us, but I'm totally not sure. But we don't have anybody coming, so I didn't pay attention to it.
Yeah.
I was on a call with the state today, and supposedly this week the governor is going to be giving his guidance on hotels, theme parks, and the entertainment type venues. Is his plan. So they're saying by Friday he'll have guidance. Gopher's met with all of them, and that's kind of where they're moving next.
I mean, I know a lot of the New Hampshire B&Bs are really optimistic that we will become a place people want to come to because we're low incidence and you can drive here. You know, there's no big destination that people would really come here for. It's just to get away, and it's going to be pretty safe. But I don't know if they're going to let people here from Massachusetts. Like, honestly, yesterday, I think my husband said, well, what if the first guest is from Massachusetts? And, you know, I don't know if I can say this out loud. I'm like, well, I don't know. I don't know if I want somebody from Boston here. And personally, I got tested yesterday for the antibody. I'm pretty sure I had it already. So to the degree that I may be safe from getting it again, I'm pretty comfortable with whatever comes my way. But other guests, I have no idea. How do you have somebody else here who may be older or somehow compromised, and then have a young person here who's being a jerk? So, you know, we got to share the space. I don't know. That's what I'm waiting to find out, how, you know, other than the obvious 6 feet apart and no buffets and like a lot of stuff we don't already do anyway, how to actually do it without, you know, spreading it around. I don't know.
Yeah. All right.
And I don't know what Cold Hill is
So no
doing.
square dancing this weekend down there.
Well, we always have the deck. The deck on the, I mean, that deck is huge.
That was my question.
I wish we could use that deck for something because it's so big and you can put a lot of people on it. And now that there's no holes and splinters, it's even better. So, you know, and you can access it without having to come in the house. So it's, I don't know. I don't know if I want to serve breakfast down there. It's kind of a long haul down the stairs, but we'll figure it out. We don't have anybody coming until July, so.
I'm kind of a sunset cocktail guy myself, so if you open it up for that.
Well, come on over. It's BYOB. Go to the bathroom before you get here.
There you go.
So, yeah,
Okay.
so we're waiting.
Speaking of things opening up, it was good to see NEC announce that they were going to be opening back up this fall for classes. They plan on having people there for August 24th. So that's a good thing as well for the town.
Yep, I'm excited about that. I like the way, well, I'm a fan of Michelle, so I like the way she thinks. You know, that's got to be optimistic. Even though I know Dr. Fauci today said that he doesn't think there's any chance there's going to be any kind of vaccine by September. And I think ideally you'd like everybody to come back having had a vaccine of some sort, but I don't know.
Well, if there was ever a reason for big pharma, now is when we need them to step up to the plate and come up with some additional medications that can at least mitigate this son of a gun. But any other questions out there?
Nope.
Joe, I know that an important part of being small town America was honoring our veterans. And I know you have some unfortunate news regarding our Memorial Day parade. Do you want to just update the group on that?
Sure. The town has decided to cancel the Memorial Day parade. We are still moving forward, putting flags on the headstones of veterans, and I do believe Chief Morris is still planning on having a gun salute. I haven't heard all the particulars of it, but that is one thing he was still looking to move forward with. But the parade itself is going to be canceled.
Yeah, that might be nice if we could somehow get that to be live streamed. The salute for the veterans, because they're, a lot of them are older and at home isolated, and it'd be nice to honor them that way.
Definitely.
Let them know that we're still thinking about them. So
we can definitely do that.
Okay. So any other questions? There you are, Allison. Hi.
I know, I didn't realize I didn't have my video on. I was deeply involved in a mahjong game as usual, so I wasn't paying attention.
Did I hear a Chris?
Yeah, from Joyce.
Oh, hi, Joyce. We lost your video.
Yeah, I know. I decided I didn't want to look at myself anymore.
Come on.
All right, are you happy?
There
Yes.
you go.
Yay. I just wanted to say, of course, Chris, and I've put it out there for the Rotary that we have canceled the Chili Fest this year. Not just because of August, the Chili Fest itself, but trying to get everybody on board, to get people that, especially restaurants now. It's really tough to say, oh, by the way, can you let a couple of people, when you do get back in business, can we have 2 or 3 or 4 of your people for a day? And by the way, make a couple $100 worth of chili. So between the restaurants and individuals, we just decided that the effort, we weren't getting a lot of response, I guess, and decided that everybody, we just don't know what the landscape's going to look like in August.
Yeah, no, I certainly understood the rationale behind the Rotary canceling that, and it made sense, and I got it.
Yeah. We feel bad for the town because we think that there are a lot of people who look forward to that. Obviously, it's a fundraiser for us, but more importantly, it's a celebration, and we were hoping that things would be okay and that everybody would be ready by that time for a celebration, but I don't think there's any way that we could pull it off at this point.
Right.
On the flip side, when you talked about veterans and being patriotic, we're doing the flag project that a couple of other communities in the area have been doing for a while. Hopkinton's is wildly successful and really impressive when you drive down into the village of Hopkinton and you see all the flags along the side of the road. I went Veterans Day last year, and it was pretty impressive, and we've had a good response from people. I think we've got around 120 or so that we've sold the subscription so far, and so you'll be seeing some flags out there from the Rotary people, and like I said, I hope that again, we're looking at, yes, it's a fundraiser, but you look at it in a broader scheme. And it's kind of nice, I think, to be able to say, we're doing this and we're together. So
Right.
Little plug there.
Good stuff. All right. Thank you.
I have a question.
Sure.
Was there any way that the Chili Fest could be moved to October? Like just give it a couple more months?
Well, at least in regards to us, no, because we're booked with weddings.
Oh, yeah.
September and October, we're almost completely booked with weddings if they're held. So that we could not move it then.
And it can't move to like the school parking lot or?
It's just not big enough. I think we've visited this before, and the Peak is kind of the perfect place because of parking, if nothing else. I think the other places, certainly Grimesfield and Hillsborough, would accommodate the Chili Fest itself. Would not accommodate the parking that the Peak does.
True.
For a couple of years, one of my favorite pictures was to go to the top of the lodge and take a picture out over the parking lot. I always felt that that was just really impressive to look over and see a sea of cars out there. And the amount of work that it takes to park those cars. Chris's crew has just been phenomenal about that over the past few years. And it's, you know, I don't know, short of going to, you know, like the center of New Hampshire or something like that, I don't know how we could pull that off. And like I said too, it's not just that day. It's everything that leads up to that day. And you know, I don't know if restaurants are going to be in a position, even in October, of being able to be that generous.
Yeah, they're certainly going to be wounded coming out of this. So,
Yeah.
best thing we can do is support them by buying gift cards and you know, giving them some cash to fight for another day. So, any other questions out there?
Nope.
Okay, well, we're pretty informal with this. There's no, I mean, the dedicated start time is 1 o'clock, but we'll just end it if there's no other questions. And Joe, I don't know if you have any other final thoughts?
I don't, you know, thanks for coming again, like always.
All right, well, we had a good participation today, so thank you all, and we'll be doing this again next Tuesday. 1 o'clock, brown bag lunch, bring your brown bag. Thanks for coming, guys.
Take care.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Guys.
Bye.